video is exactly what the title says, not clickbait. I nearly joined a cult, and can you imagine if I was still there, giving it the old, thank you, Brother Derek. Stop. Wow, what's up, rebels? My name's Willy, and I am one half of Leo and Willy. We are queer, and today I am here to tell you about how I nearly joined a cult. This is going to be a fun little no-stakes story time. If you are here because you recognize the church, yes, it's that church. And if you're here because you're super religious and this has come up in your algorithm, religious in the flavour of man shall not lie with man, then we are not the channel for you. I am cis, my partner is trans, we are queer as heck. We just don't work for you, so let's not waste each other's time in a comment section. What I will do for you, because I'm super nice, I have left a video that I recommend for you, a nice good religious channel, in the description. Go check it out. I'm being serious, go do it. Go check, it's there. And for the rest of you, let's get into it. Now, for context, there was so much that I actually forgot when I was initially telling this story to Leo and one of my best friends. I forgot so much, and so I was like, I want to talk about this story, but I need to go and talk to a friend, like people who were actually there, and talking about it, just like, it brought it all back, and it's just so silly, so I have to share. For the record, I'm no longer religious, but I am very spiritual. My mom, on the other hand, is very religious, and I love her to my dying breath. So this isn't to offend anybody who is religious. If you like it, I love it. It's just not for me, and I get my peace elsewhere. Okay, cults. If you've clicked on this video, I imagine you already know what a cult is, right? But if you don't, for whatever reason, that's totally okay. I'm gonna put a description up for you that you can like pause and check out in 3, 2, 1. Let's take it back, okay? I was 15 years old at the time, and just to not waste anyone's time, I'd only been at this place 2 times. 2 times. For some context on me, I was brought up very religious. Actually, in my younger years, I was actually a Jehovah's Witness, like literally hashtag knock who's there. But then we grew up and we switched to Christianity, and then I ended up in a secondary school, a religious secondary school for girls. And for those of you who don't know what secondary school is, between the ages of 11 to 16, it's just what we call schooling in the UK. So being from a really religious upbringing and being from a really religious school, it wasn't, you know, uncommon for someone to invite you to their church as a social event or whatever. And back in the days, me and Sky Daddy, we were like that. So I was like, absolutely, I'll come. Let's praise away. Give me oil in my lamp, keep me burning. For anyone who's never set foot in a church, so might not know this information, different churches have different vibes. The difference between a predominantly black church and a predominantly white church is night and day. And for anybody trying to do up PC police in the comment section, like, what about the Asian churches? Let me tell my story, yeah? Do I interrupt you when you're talking? Do I interrogate you? So, friend A informs us that her church is predominantly a black church. So I'm already mentally preparing for longer services, better music, I said what I said, and more of a like general social vibe. And obviously this is all going to be based on my experience, but yeah, when we do arrive to the church, you can understand why when we're immediately separated and told to change clothes, I'm incredibly confused. Are we Squid Gaming or praising? I'm not gonna lie, I'm a very open person, I'm very open-minded, and I was like thinking like, it's just different, it's a different style of church. I don't really know why we're doing this, but you know, it's different. Maybe it's not a predominantly like black church as I knew it. Maybe it's a mixture of predominantly black church, predominantly white churches. I don't know, maybe it's a mixed race church. I don't know. I was just trying to like justify it in my head. Like, it's just different. It's a different flavor. And okay, I'm willing to at least like tread in and see this new world. But I was very confused. Just to be clear, clothes and changing clothes, that wasn't done in front of each other. I went to the bathroom, my friend came with me, friend B. Friend A already knew the vibes. She was the one who invited us. She's the one who set us up. I'm joking. Friend A, if you're listening, I'm joking. I'm really joking. But yeah, me, friend B, we go and get dressed, and then that's it, we're like separated. We get dressed, it's just the top half, and we get dressed into coloured clothes. It's like a block colour. And I can't tell you what colour mine is, and I can't tell you what colour hers is, friend B's, but I can tell you that they were different colours. And the reason why I know that is because after you're given your colour, you have to stay with your group. Your group of like, if I'm in red and she's in blue, I'm suddenly with red group. And I need to stress again, I'm 15 years old, I'm a minor. This is something run by like grown-ass men. Huh? why am I getting dressed and why am I in group red? I don't know any of these people. It was very confusing. I mean, I had to give things chances. I was like, I'll see. I remember my friend, and I'm going to keep going to friend B because friend A, this is her church. She knows everything. Friend B, this is a new experience for us. So she would be probably the one who's going to get mentioned more. So I remember like friend B being so far away. Like we were like separated, and you're like, Willy, it's a church. What do you mean so far away? It's not a football field, love. But it felt like that. And originally I thought, oh, you know, I was younger, so maybe it felt bigger. By the way, you might hear some street noise. At some point, I'll give you a beautiful like clip of what it looks like, and you can hear why we have some of the street noise. It's really pretty. But yeah. Oh, I forgot what I was gonna say. Where was I? Oh, church, 15 far. Okay, because we were so young, I felt that the church was bigger because I'm small, you know, you're reflecting. But no, you know what I mean? No, I actually Googled and the church is massive. I'll put a picture in. It'll be here somewhere. I don't know if I'm talking over it right now or if it's like floating next to me. I wonder what editing choices I'm gonna make. Anyways, yeah, my friend was far. We're in these two different colored blocks to be in our groups. And if you ask me what were these groups and what they mean, still to this day, I can't tell you. All I know was these were my people now. You know, these are my friends. This is my cult family. And like thinking back on it, I know me as a 15-year-old, and I'm someone who can mask quite well. And I think I would have like tried to like, you know, give my friend a little, okay, this is fine, it's all fine. But no, inside I think I would have been so a bit, just uncomfortable maybe, you know. Again, you're a minor, and this is an environment run by adults, and you're immediately separated and told to change clothes, you know what I mean? It's not a vibe. So after we come and we're put in like separate groups, I can't tell you 100% what happened. I can't, because my brain immediately goes to the next significant thing. For me, it feels like it happened straight after, but there's definitely a possibility that I've created a chronological order out of just the things that I remember. So bear that in mind, okay? And okay, so now we're put in separate groups, and this man comes on stage and everyone sort of goes really silent. By the way, we're standing, we're not even sitting in pews, we're standing. And this man comes on stage, and I don't remember much about him, only that he was a black man. Oh, I sound like the police. And he said, and of course I can't be sure if it's like this word for word, but it basically was like, I want to see you compete for like and worship for the Lord, but it needs to be a competition. And you're probably confused, and I'm saying it like that purposely because I want you to see how I felt in that moment when I'm like, huh? Like, what's going on here? The bit that was like really bizarre was that everybody else in the room understood the assignment. Like immediately after he said it, people started screaming, shouting, making noises, going, no, I need to show you. I need to show you what Miss Willy was doing. One sec. What? I was such a sheep, right? Without missing a beat, I was joining in with I didn't know what's going on, but I'm very competitive. I didn't know the rules, I didn't know the games, but I wanted to win. I remember catching a glance of friend A, that's the one who invited us, and she was in her element, like fully getting her cult dance on. And then I saw friend B, who was in another group, and she was looking at me like, help. You know what I mean? Like we were looking at each other. And I wanted to help, but she wasn't in my team. I wanted to win. I'm sorry, I wanted to win. And I really need to stress that. We weren't introduced to anyone. I didn't know anybody's name. I mean, at this point, I don't even know who friend A is. I'm like, you know what I mean? That's not the girl I lent the 2B pencil to. Who are you? I, with all my soul, believe that this jumping thing went on for 15 to 20 minutes. Just jumping, screaming, banging. Like, it was a lot. It was a lot. I honestly don't know what the hell we were doing. I remember getting so out of breath because it went on for like 15, 20 minutes. And for reference, 15-year-old me was a lot slimmer and very fit. And she just wasn't cut out for the cult Olympics. During the jumpy bits, they really wanted us to be like, rah, at each other. And so that was like my way to sort of like get to my friend, like, what the fuck are we doing? And her to reply back, I don't know. It was just so weird. But then when the guy prays, by guy, I'm sorry, I mean the pastor. Pastor, no special bolognese. It's Muslim, I'm not racist, I'm black. I'll say priest. So the priest spoke. We were all then told to sit back in our spaces. Like you had to separate again for some reason. Like, why are we still competing to hear your words? And it was very performative. He was, you know how it is, performance. You know, we were praising him. We weren't praising Jesus, no. And it was just weird. I had to like turn around and then discuss everything that was going on that he said with these random people who I never knew. And I know it's okay, like, It's fine that they were like adults in my group with me. I don't think that's an issue, because whether you're 3 or 103, you can get down with Jesus, right? I just think that it felt super uncomfortable, and I didn't really know what the hell was going on. And just to be so far away from different groups and put into this space, like with my little cult family, I just found it so weird. And I was just like, you know, I don't know what you want me to do. I'm not talking. I'm just going to sit here until this is all done. And then after this bit, you had like another 20 minutes of... The whole thing was so bizarre. We were definitely just worshipping the priest. He would say something and we would all just be like, yeah, dance, monkey, dance. It was very uncomfortable. And I felt like the whole physical stuff was just to kind of break you down physically, because it's a lot easier to mold a broken person. That's just the truth. And so you break someone down, you take their clothes off and you put them in whatever you choose. You remove their identity. It's all classic cult-like things. And even though I studied cults further on in my life, like not when I was a kid, I could still identify that it was weird. I could still identify everything was strange. At some point during the church day, I feel like this was at the end, whereas another account feels like it was a little bit early on. But I was like, no, I remember this conversation happening right before I left, but it could just be the last thing I remembered, right? But anyways, I was approached by this guy, and this guy was very handsome. I was like, oh, hello. I was definitely younger than him. If I'm 15, I would say now, it's hard to guess someone's age when you're young and look back, but I would say he would be about 21 if I could still see his face. Him now being younger, like, it's weird, but yeah, I would say he was about 21. And he was a very sweet guy. He was so kind and lovely. That's all I got from him. That's also all I got from the people that I was with. No one was cold to me. Everyone was very welcoming, just to be clear. I can't remember all of our conversations, so I'm not going to pretend I do. But one thing I definitely do remember in his introduction is him asking me, why did I decide to join the church? Not come to church, join it. And then I told him that I was invited by friend A, who happened to be lingering around, and we started to talk about theatre. I don't know how it got there, but from my recollection, friend A had already told him that I was interested in the theatre. At this point, at 15, I was a go-getter. I was doing a lot of things in Islington. I was doing auditions in Islington, as in making them happen, because I love writing, I love directing, and so I thought that she had maybe just like given a nice word and gone, oh, she's really good at this, and that's kind of how it led. That's how it felt, but I haven't spoken to friend A in years, and not through malice, just life, and so I can't confirm that. I really can't confirm that, but whoop, whoop, that's the sound of the police. Yeah, he seemed to know a decent amount about me, which made me think that maybe there was a conversation that happened before, but again, can't be sure. Anyways, he's talking to me about theatre, and it gets to a place where he's like, oh my God, I really think that you should write and direct a show at this church. And I'm not gonna lie, I loved the attention. I was lapping it up. I was like, I'll see. He basically says that he's gonna go speak to the priest and see if he can get me in for this really like cool, you know, project in the church, theatre-wise. And, you know, I'm lapping it up. I think it's really sweet. I didn't know that he worked for the church at this point. And I just, in my head, I'm like, oh, this is really like sweet, attractive guy who, you know, likes my work, or at least is interested in my work, you know? I'm married. I'm someone who loves creating work. And look how big this church is, one more time. So for the working class dreamer who really wanted to share my art, like the idea of having such a huge church and a huge audience was actually really cool for me. I felt like that was a great opportunity, and yeah, I was super excited and well in. I completely forgot about the 40 minutes of compulsory Zumba they made us do. I was just like, yeah, all right. Theatre! I was honestly just so excited. The church is so big, and I was like, oh, let's fill her up with a beautiful story, and let's have audiences come in, and we can all have this cool moment together with hopefully something that I can get inspired by. Like, it was a great opportunity, and that's why I went back again next week. The second time was literally the same entire process. Same script, different Sunday. The priest, he just ran around doing his own thing, very performative. Everyone loved, worshipped him, and we jumped around. It was all very odd and weird, but it was routine at this point. You see how quick it is? It's like, okay, and I don't mean like that as in like, oh, I'd been indoctrinated. I just mean I already knew what was happening the second time. There was no surprise, you know? So if someone else had come and that was their first Sunday, they would have been me and friend B, but I would have been friend A going, okay, well, I know what's happened. I'll get on with it. And just seeing all these people do it at the same time, that creates it, right? And so it's just weird how quick it can happen. And I can hear it. I know some people are going to be like, well, obviously everyone's looking at the priest. Obviously he's the focal of attention. You know, he's at the front. I get it, you know. Like I said, I used to go to church, but it's different. It's different. I have a knowledge of like a variety of, especially like UK black churches, right? We know there are Caribbean churches, we know there are African churches, there are Congolese churches, there are Jamaican churches. We know what we know. And in some of these churches, yes, some people may speak in tongues, some people may give you a little... I'm telling you, I've experienced that, and this was not the same. And hopefully that brings us all down to the same place of what the hell was going on. And if you're wondering, you know, why weren't you at your own church? So my family is a praise wherever you want, as long as you're praising type family. Growing up, I went to several different churches. Some of my friends came to my churches sometimes I went to theirs. It was cool and it was fine. So the idea of a friend inviting me to church and me saying, Mum, I'm going to church service with this friend, wasn't that surprising. We didn't have a loyalty to a church. We had a loyalty to praise. That was kind of our thing, to like just be in the presence of God. That was what we did. Anyways, back to me and my church boyfriend. That's what 15-year-old me used to call him when nobody was looking. He came back to me and he actually said, like, I'd spoken to the priest and we think this is a great idea. Like, he 100% did that. I know that for a fact because it then led to him saying we should talk after and we can talk more about it and work out just a little bit more of the logistics. So he did stick to his word on that and I did appreciate him, but I'll get to it. We had this conversation in some back room after service. I don't know how I didn't know this man was part of the church. Rose-tinted glasses. He was very sweet and charming. And the whole church thing was bizarre. So, like, the biggest thing isn't going to be, whoa, when you're in a room you shouldn't be in. It's, why are we jumping? You know what I mean? Like, my focus wasn't really on all that. But yeah, so we go into this back room and I really wish I could describe it to you. All I know is that it was separate from the main space. That's all I can tell you. I wish I could describe it, and no matter how much I really try to go there, nothing comes out. I want to be able to be like, this was there and that was there. So like maybe people who are still at this church, because people are still at this church, who may watch this video are like, oh my gosh, the indoctrination room. Like, you know what I mean? Like, maybe she's right. You know? Fun story, but if I can help someone, two for the price of one. Anyways, we're in this random back room having a conversation about the logistics, and then the priest, aka the cult's Beyonce, walks in and he immediately goes to speak with Bae, and that's when I realized just how much Bae was involved with the church. And I was like, okay, like that's fine. I don't have an issue with you being super involved with church, but like, oh, you actually work here, like you're involved. Okay, cool. Conversation happened, and I would be a lie to tell you that I remember it all, you know, word for word. It's just not happening. I can't go there. But there are some things that I do remember. So one thing I definitely remember was Bae was like, oh, I've got an idea for the script. And listen, I'm always open to ideas, you know. I didn't have any idea then. So it was like, cool, if you have an idea, let me hear it. And then maybe I can go write and get excited, right? And he was like... I was excited about, you know, Bae being involved. I was like, oh, like, us writers, until he started talking about it. And he was saying that he definitely wanted a part in it that had the priest is already excited about this, so it feels like it's already maybe been discussed or sold. I don't know. But the priest is like, yeah, and we can have everybody join in. So what they wanted, and I know this happened for a fact, what they wanted was for us to like, so we're at the front of the thing. I'll try to put a picture in, right? We're at the front doing our little dance, and then everyone who's invited to the service, to the play, whatever it is, they will then have to join in with us from their seats. And the priest, Beyonce, he was like, oh, we should keep dancing until everybody in the entire church joins us, and we won't stop until everyone does it. I was like, now obviously it's only been 1 week since they first brought it up, so I haven't written anything, I haven't got a script, but I know I want to invite my mum. Like, I'm already excited about the idea of like writing something and, you know, having my family come, and maybe it's a bit selfish, and that's okay, you can be selfish sometimes, but I was excited about it, right? And, you know, no, there was no version of things where I could invite my mom and be like, yeah, it's a nice little cute, you know, religious friendly play, and then suddenly her daughter's being like submissive for 20 minutes to some random stranger screaming. You know, how do I tell the cast that, you know, the 20-minute Zumba we do, it will be extended to 4 hours on performance day because my mum will not join in. Like, it's not happening. I would feel so embarrassed if anyone actually saw me do that. And that's when I was like, this isn't for me. You know what I mean? Because here's the thing, my circle, how I grew up, the school I was in, religion isn't embarrassing. It's actually something that a lot of people took pride in. So for me to feel some form of embarrassment for praising, I knew something was off. You know what I mean? I know that something was off, and I always knew something was off inside. I always did. Sometimes people say things like, yeah, sure you did, but I really did. I got this feeling, like from the moment I entered, from the moment we were separated, I knew something was off about where we were. And, you know, sometimes I just go along for the vibe, I can't even lie. Also, they mentioned that they wanted rehearsals to be every single day after worship. Worship. So you want me to give up every single day? Huh? And they asked me if I'd be down to go and like walk around and recruit some people. This is my second service, babes. Buy me a drink. Like, what's happening? It's my second service and I'm in a back room with someone saying I should come every single day. I'm not even in clothes that I came in. And suddenly they want me to go around and get other people. It's not, no, babes. I was nodding like, but inside, absolutely. I knew I was not coming. I looked at friend A and she was like she's well into it. And like, you know, I don't know what happened to her and whatever. And there's no judgment there because, you know, I could have been with her. But with friend B, we knew. This was it. Say goodbye to the church. Go look around, make memories. This is the last time we're gonna be in here. Like, just go. We need to go. And so I was like, yeah, of course, no worries. And I never, ever went back. And I need to tell you all something. So when I tell Leo this story, and I was like, oh yeah, I need to join the cult, by the way. I had never researched the church. I had never looked back at the church. I promise you this. I had never looked. I just knew that when I went to UCKG, because of like knowing it in the future, I was like, yeah, of course, I was in a cult. Like that was ridiculous. Everything was wrong. Everything was off. And, you know, there's always been whispers about it, you know, like I know what I know. And then I decided to actually Google it. And then you see like these headlines, people speaking up, young people speaking up. And I'm like, wow, wait, it's actually a cult though. Like it's actually a cult. Like it's a bit wild, but yeah, that's how I nearly joined the cult. Luckily I didn't. And, you know, just saying, like, I'm telling it as a light fun story because that's my experience and I'm allowed to talk about my experience the way I want while still respecting that other people's experiences may be so much more harsher, way more serious. And I hope that they speak about their stories in the way that they want. I genuinely do. And I hope that if anyone's still there, UCKG, it's not the church to go to. If you move to London and you're religious and you're in the, especially FPK, Finsbury Park area, you don't want to go to that church. I'm telling you straight, you don't want to go there. It's not the one for you. But yeah, that's my story. Do you like it? What? Is that the question? If you haven't already, please do hit subscribe. It really does help the channel out. We love you so much. Goodbye.